But now we are going to move to the global fintech world. And Canvas today made financial history by facilitating the first foreign exchange transaction using an Australian central bank, I think, digital coin. The trade was conducted as part of the RBA and Digital Finance Corporation Research Centre's CBDC pilot. For more on that, I'm pleased to say that we're joined by Canvas CEO David Lavecky. Hi, David. Thank you so much for joining the close this afternoon.
Thanks for having me, Danielle.
Yeah, so this is really big news. So can we break it down for the viewers into really simplistic terms, what you guys have actually achieved today? First, we'll get to just the structure and the significance of it, and then we can move maybe into some more technical aspects.
Of course. So to give a bit of background on Canvas, so Canvas is a global financial technology company, and we're on a mission to digitize finance. So we've built a privacy-focused layer 2 blockchain that supports the needs of banks, governments and corporates that are starting to trade in the digital economy and using these digital currencies issued by central banks, as you mentioned, with the Reserve Bank. So we were selected as part of the RBA's pilot to investigate the benefits of using eAUD, or the digital dollar, in the context of foreign currency or FX transactions and international remittances.
Okay, so just in terms of what are some of the benefits to be derived from being able to transact in a digital context versus the current foreign exchange mechanisms that we have?
Absolutely. So when you're using a digital currency, the transaction occurs instantaneously. And so the money can move in any part of the globe instantly, and it settles in totality or not at all, meaning, and that's called atomic settlement. So what that does, it creates benefits of much faster transactions, much cheaper transactions, and much more inclusivity that allows a lot more people to access services around the globe. And so we're very excited as part of the RBA pilot to demonstrate the benefits of using a central bank digital currency, or the eAUD, in place of traditional platforms.
Okay, so two questions spring to mind. First of all, I know blockchain technology is meant to be very secure, but first of all, could you touch on the security of this transaction? Because clearly trust in financial transactions is absolutely paramount.
Yeah, we agree. And there's a very big difference between what you hear about blockchain and cryptocurrency and what's taking place here. So what's taking place in the RBA pilot and with the eAUD is it's essentially the same dollar that you're holding in your wallet today, just in a new form factor. And so this is an actual dollar with a claim on the RBA, and it's not a cryptocurrency that's issued by a group of people on the internet. And so there's a lot more security that comes with that as being an actual digital currency. And then by using the blockchain, it really allows to create an environment where secure transactions can happen with no counterparty risk. And so in our example, when one of our financial institutions sends the eAUD to the other party and they receive US dollar coin back at exactly the same time. So it actually enhances security and safety in the context of foreign currency transactions.
So what does it mean for the existing, like let's assume that this gathers momentum and adoption, it must be a massive disruption to the existing foreign exchange providers, or will they move from the more analog traditional way of currency transfer to these digital Australian dollars? Is that what would happen, or is it effectively going to disrupt a whole industry for the banking sector?
It's quite a similar arc to when the internet first came around and digitized information. So what you're seeing is that value or money is being digitized in the same way as the internet did for information. And so now what we're observing across the world is major banks, both domestically with the big four banks and internationally, huge banks in Singapore and Europe and the US, across the world, are beginning to move their rails or upgrade their systems to use blockchain, because it's a lot more efficient and it creates a lot more capabilities that are not possible in today's platforms. And so if you think about even sending money to New Zealand, the cutoff is 1 p.m. So if you send money from Sydney to New Zealand and it's after 1 p.m., it's not going to be received until 2 days later, or if it's a weekend, even longer. And so now when you're using a digital currency, be it issued by a central bank like the RBA, or a tokenized deposit from a bank, it moves instantly regardless of where it is on the world. So I don't see it as a disruption. It's going to create new capabilities for existing financial institutions to adopt, and also make room for new fintechs to come up, such as what we are doing in the eAUD pilot.
Okay, but isn't it traditionally that banks would take a clip on the bid offer spread when you make a FX transaction? Surely that will dissipate given this technology, which would affect existing Forex situations, or are they still going to try and take a clip on the way through?
What you find in electronic transactions is quite interesting. For example, with payments, when you make a payment at the supermarket or the coffee shop, there are a huge amount of steps that sit in between you and the merchant actually getting the money. And so a lot of those intermediaries charge fees along the way, and that's what drives the high cost of, for example, doing a foreign exchange or an international remittance. So when you start using blockchain-based rails and it's direct, you're cutting out a lot of those counterparties. That ultimately accrues value back to the end user, because you've taken out a lot of those intermediate steps. So there's still a rate that you'll pay, but the fees that have been charged and taken along the way, those are going to dissipate.
Okay, so what are the next steps then for Canvas on this very exciting pathway?
Yeah, so we're really excited. The RBA pilot is just the first of many similar projects that are taking place around the world, and we've built a platform that supports the needs of banks and governments and corporates as they move and start using these digital assets. So we'll be continuing to participate and support the RBA and the DFCRC locally, also working with other central banks around the world and working with other banks as we've done for many, many years. And so really this is just the start of a big movement towards digital currencies and the digital economy.
And I guess one last question, when can people like me, the people in the street, basically expect this technology to be embedded in our international financial, cross-currency transactions?
I believe you'll see it play out over the next couple of years. And so the outcome of the RBA pilot is a report that's going to inform government policy about what are the benefits and what form factor and what technology the eAUD should use. And the same kind of research is being done on a global basis. But what is certain that is over the coming years, finance is going to be digitized and be running on blockchain rails, not just for currencies, but also equities and bonds and debt and all kinds of financial instruments.